Welcome to Walking with J.Beau, an almost daily walking vlog. On this Halloween evening. It is Halloween. Whoa. We must beware of the demons and ghouls and the zombies running amok. Well, it's Halloween. There is a bright moon up there behind the clouds. It feels like it's getting cooler, even though it's 50 degrees. It's very windy. It's been windy all day. It's been windy since last night. And if you look at a map of the radar for Maine, you will see that there is the remnants of Hurricane Melissa off to our east. Far enough away not to really cause a big problem for us. We have had hurricanes this time of year. Usually they fall as a category 1 just before they hit. Then they turn into a tropical thing with high winds. But this is just 25 to 35 mile an hour winds. Some gusts around 40, 45. The air feels warmer than usual for this time of year, but it certainly is not warm. But earlier that wind felt warm and now it doesn't. So there must be a front. Ooh, that's a stiff wind. I don't like walking in wind. But it's Halloween night. It's about 8 o'clock. I think a lot of the trick-or-treaters are over with. Didn't really see too many this evening. Maybe some people decided it was too windy to take their kids out. Ooh, that's pretty stiff wind, my friends. I didn't bring my gloves, and I'm not wearing my 2XL Bruins type jersey under my hoodie, because literally just an hour ago when I was outside it felt a lot warmer than this. And right here where there's no wind, this feels alright. Still overcast for the most part, but that rain was getting thrown off Melissa while Melissa was spinning as a tropical thingamahoozy out in the Atlantic to the east of Maine. And the rain was coming off Melissa all the way into Ontario. We had very heavy rain last night, high winds. It was howling. Tonight, we don't want to hear any howling because it's Halloween night. We don't want to run into any psycho knife wielding people either. No Michael Myers tonight, please. No Jason Voorhees. No werewolves. No Draculas.
Time, 10 minutes, 21 seconds.
My pocket was talking to me, and I had my Bluetooth on, and I was like, where's my Bluetooth? It's not talking to me, my pocket is. So I just connected it. Now I'm connected. So anyway, I'm gonna turn the camera around. I don't know what the hell you're going to see. But anyways, hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful evening on this Halloween. Government shutdown day number 31. Yep. Tomorrow is November 1st. Tomorrow is the big day that everybody goes broke that works for the government. Because the Democrats are a bunch of fucking assholes. Times 10. They have the fucking audacity and the balls to openly say this is the Republicans' fault. The Democrats would rather starve people, take money away from mothers with children, to make sure illegals get their health care and bennies and all this other stuff that the one big beautiful bill took out. Well, fuck them. And I gotta tell you, I'm very proud of the Republican Party right now, because tomorrow is gonna make the longest shutdown in history, and the Republicans are not caving, not giving a fucking inch, and they had better not either. This is the Democrats' fucking mess. And they're even running the fake polls to say that people are blaming the Republicans. Trying to say 57% of the American public blames Republicans for this. And 30-something%. That's a fake poll. Why? Because we just had polls come out showing that the Democrats have their highest rating yet, with the public thinking they're out of touch. Republicans have gained 12 points in the Republican Party since the shutdown started, and they've gained 8 points among independents. So the Democrats are losing independents. There's absolutely zero, no fucking way, there's no fucking way that Republicans are getting blamed for this shutdown. When it's a simple CR, the people know that's what it is, and the Republicans have been voting to open the government. So save the fucking bullshit. It's not gonna work. Those polls are done by Washington Post, YouGov, the AP, all of the same ones that fluffed the fucking polls before the election, saying Kamala was this, Kamala was that. It's fucking bullshit. So, I mean, you just inherently know that's the case, right? I mean, come on. Fucking bullshit. These people are fucking unbelievable. Fucking unbelievable. Anyways, better not see any fucking werewolves tonight, because I'm not in the mood. I don't have any silver bullets, but I don't give a shit. Anyway, I'm getting my walk in. My brother's on his way back from Virginia. He's driving back. He's been gone there all summer, basically, for work. So he'll be coming back. We'll have a couple of range days coming up, which will be nice. We also got a new Taurus stainless steel duty pistol, 45 ACP, to give a whirl. Probably Sunday, I'm guessing. It's going to be stupid windy like this tomorrow too. So, if you've ever gone shooting in the wind, if you can avoid it, that's good. And I get it, I know people are going to say, well, World War III might start and it's very windy, you know. Yeah, well, it's not going on now, is it? We have shot our share over there in the wind. It's not enjoyable, especially this time of year when it starts getting cooler. Even with a high temperature of 50 degrees, if the sun's out, it's tolerable. But if it's cloudy, at 50 feels like 38. The wind cuts right through everything you're wearing. Not a fan. Not a fan of it. I am not a fan. So anyway, the Senate is gone for the weekend. So there's going to be no resolve of the shutdown until at least Monday. Yesterday, I thought this was nice. Actually, earlier today, the national airlines, 4 of the top national airlines sided with the Republicans today and said the Democrats need to open. People flying now are going to be at risk, safety, and some people are going to be working without pay. I mean, would you do that? Or would you be like, well, I can't rely on this shit anymore. I'm going to go work for a private company. I'm going to do something else where I know I'm going to get paid every week. And who gets hurt by that? We do. People that fly or whatever, because now they're going to hire people that aren't as good because they went and worked somewhere else. It's crazy. Fucking bananas. These Democrats have lost their fucking minds. Really don't know what they think this is going to accomplish. They're not going to get what they want. They're not going to get anything. They just want to show that they're fighting against Trump. They've been historically blocking everything. They had to change the Senate rules. For simple cabinet appointees, excuse me, it's very windy. Simple cabinet appointees, they had to change the Senate rules because the Democrats were blocking everything. They're just blocking, resisting, obstructing. They're doing absolutely nothing That's why it's very important for voters to hand them a big loss next year. Democrats right now are in trouble, and they're desperate, and they're dangerously desperate. Now, I can't tell you if Chitterelli is going to beat Mikey, what's her name, in New Jersey, running for governor, but it's within the margin of error, and he says his internal polling is very, very good, and hers is not. Ever since it was revealed that she made $7 million as a senator, and insider trading, she made $7 million. She won't disclose where it comes from. She's trying to avoid answering questions about it. And ever since that came out, she's dropped. New Jersey's turning red. And if you watched my walks almost 3 years ago, I said on a couple of my walks that New Jersey was turning red. They had a special election. The guy running for governor in New Jersey didn't win, okay? The Republican didn't win, but they had to have a recount. It was close. Much closer than Democrats thought was even possible. And that was a special election. So that got the Republican Party's attention, and the Democratic Party as well, that their policies are shit. And since then, President Trump has won. Republicans have the House and the Senate. It doesn't look like the Republicans are going to lose the Senate, and we may very well win the House, because the generic ballot is not in the Democrat favor. They need to be at least a +7, +8, and right now they're a +1. And the Republicans, and you have to understand there's a natural bias there nationally, just because of all the districts and the high population centers of Democrats. Plus figure in the redistricting. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Really important. Anyway, we're walking on here. Hey, how you doing? These Halloween decorations over here that I'm sure are taking a hell of a beating in the wind. Let's see what they got. We had heavy rains yesterday, high winds all last night, all day today. We got a flat pumpkin. This was all here waiting for this year. Oh, wow, look at this. So they got a big line of people in here. I'm not going in, but I'm going to walk by. So look at that. There's cars all the way up the street. They have a haunted house they do every year. People go through here. Isn't that cool? And I've been wanting to come by here on Halloween night. So we got a whole bunch of people that are going to be coming in here. I hear chainsaw noises. Look at all the people. Unbelievable. Look at that. friends. You like that? Here I was expecting them to get wrecked. And instead we got attacked by a guy in a chainsaw. Good Lord. Isn't that cool? Told you guys, those guys over there, they have tours through their house. There's a big long line. I'm not going to stand in line. And they do take donations in a donation box outside. They're not charging people to go through there. And they do stuff on there every year. So that was cool. That's the first time I see a guy with actually a legit chainsaw. It looked like they had it disabled so the chain wouldn't spin, thankfully. But he went right out in the road like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I thought that was pretty cool. Well, there you go. That makes my night. Pretty cool stuff. So anyway, maybe Donald Trump could use that beautiful chainsaw given to Elon Musk by Milei, president of Argentina. Well, anyway, the Democrats are turning into the Grinches that stole Thanksgiving. What do I mean by that? Well, you could very well see the nation's airlines closed for the holidays. Busiest travel day of the year. And everybody's going to be on the roads driving instead because the price of gas is way down. It's going to take longer for people to get where they're going. But in the long run, that may help a lot of people with the economy. All these little stores on the way and things like that. So, pretty interesting. Because some people are not going to be able to afford to buy a turkey. Imagine that. They got a pink slip. They got laid off. They're out of work. Their government job they thought paid well and was secure is not. So I don't know what people are going to do. But besides go hungry, and you got Thanksgiving coming, and the Democrats are the Grinches that stole Thanksgiving. Can you imagine? How horrible is that? Can't get over how many people are on that side street. That's crazy. People had no place to park. You watch what's going to happen now. You're going to have some fucking liberal leftist Karen is going to file a complaint, and they're going to be forced to get a license to do that, get insurance, and they're going to ruin it for everybody, because that's what Karens do. That's actually the first thing I thought of when I saw that. So anyway, I was expecting to go around the corner and we'll get some trick-or-treaters up there. First ones I see, besides the ones going to the party. Anyway, people were having fun at the party, which was always nice. I'm getting my exercise. It's been a good day. Finish up my walk. Sure is windy. Should have worn my knit cap. I don't have to worry about it flying off my head. Turn the camera around here. There we go. I got my right shoe was loose. I did that on purpose, because I walked almost 6 miles yesterday with my shoe tied too tight. I have a habit of doing that. It's an old habit I got into from playing ice hockey. You have to have your skates tight. So sometimes I just ream my laces, and it actually hurts my foot from walking. I'd be really surprised if we don't run into any college kids dressed up. Tonight would have been a good night to go by the campus, but I would have missed the chainsaw guy. Chainsaw guy was pretty awesome. We have a chainsaw, it's an electric one. It doesn't make the, it doesn't make that noise. Works well, it just doesn't make the noise. It works well because it's a DeWalt. Yes, sir. And I use olive oil in it, or vegetable oil. I think I put canola oil in it. So we're getting our walk in, my friends. Hope you're having a good Halloween. I don't really celebrate Halloween too much anymore, other than watching horror movies. Got a jack-o'-lantern. Other than that, we got a ambulance coming. There's a psycho killer on the loose. Psycho killer. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Better. Or whatever the words are. I haven't heard that song in a while. I think I got that album somewhere. I got a Live Talking Heads album too, come to think of it, from a Record Store Day release, I believe. Ooh, windy, windy. Here's some angry crickets. Don't forget to go vote Tuesday if you have an election near you. Very important. Very importante. So the other thing I'm going to talk about, I don't know how this is going to shake out. I'm kind of baffled by it, to be honest with you. The head of the USDA, who was appointed by Trump, she's very smart. She said it is illegal to use those emergency funds for SNAP benefits. And they need $8 billion for that, and there's only $5. So, this judge in Massachusetts ruled that the Trump administration, she goes, I cannot understand how this would not be considered an emergency and why the funds wouldn't be being used. She thinks Trump's just playing games. So she ruled that the funds have to be released. But it's not going to be that easy, because they were appropriated by Congress. Congress made it so that cannot be used for whatever reason. It has to be appropriated by Congress. Congress is not in session. So basically the judge can rule what she wants to, but I really don't see how it's going to be done. Because one, it's illegal, And she made this ruling, and then she said she's going to need 2 or 3 days to look over all the details of it before she makes a final allocation. Well, that's because she knows that she can't just do that. Now, I've seen a lot of people say, didn't the Supreme Court say that we couldn't have all these frivolous injunctions? Well, what the Supreme Court said was, you can't just have frivolous nationwide injunctions, you have to have a plaintiff. You have to have plaintiffs. You just can't have an attorney general file a motion and a judge okays it. There has to be parties that are receiving injury from it. So that's what they did. They have plaintiffs who said they're being harmed by this, which of course is, bullshit. These are just activist lawyers, probably not even getting paid, and if they are, it's from some billionaire, just somebody that wants to gum up the works for the Trump administration and make the Democrats look good. So, turn the camera around. So she ruled that this money has to be released, which would cover, I think, SNAP and WIC until November 21st or something like that. Which is fine, okay? I'm sure Trump doesn't have a problem with that. It's just, it wasn't legal for them to do that. That's what she explained today at the press conference. So, the judge still has not officially okayed it. There are rules and stipulations, and if the congressional way it's written and stuff, she can't violate the law and distribute them. So if they truly are illegal, it may be legal for a court to order it, but it would not be legal for Trump to do it, if that makes any sense. And basically, though, those funds are for an emergency. Those funds are for, let's say, a hurricane hits the United States. People have their homes wiped out and they need food to eat. That's what that money's for. So now they're going to spend it on this because Chuck Schumer is a fucking dickhead? Really? And it just prolongs the shutdown, because now the Democrats have breathing room again. So this doesn't help anybody. It really doesn't. It's bullshit, it's what it is. So all of these places that had Halloween decorations out have them off because of the high winds. These people have them on across the street and they're dancing like crazy. Because there's some over there, they turned them all off and they have them taken down because of the wind. And you can see over here, these are the ones we saw that were lit up. So looks like somebody committed a mass shooting on the inflatables. This whole line was all inflatables, and in this wind you can't have it, and that's the drawback. That's the drawback. They probably spent good money on these for Halloween night, and you end up you can't even use them. Welcome to Maine, my friends. You don't like the weather? Wait 5 minutes. So today's Friday, it's very windy. Tomorrow, Saturday, it's going to be very windy. Sunday is going to be calm like a bomb. Sunshine, 50 degrees. It'll be really nice Sunday. So anyway, we're going to go finish up the walk here. There's a whole bunch of cars parked here. So something is going on nearby.
So I show up and I'm like, hey, you have a lot of money, but I'll do all of my service here. My truck, my husband track.
So I don't know what's going on here. That's funny. That woman was talking with that guy. She's talking about her husband and the truck and this and that, and she saw me recording and she just shut right up. I wonder why. I wonder why a woman talking about her husband would shut up. Is it because she's with some guy she shouldn't be? And now she's worried about it? Is it because I got a MAGA hat and she's a Karen? Who knows these days, right? So, anyway, we got the police cruising around. This car just went by. Their blue lights on without them flashing, just solid. Probably just checking the neighborhoods. Maybe there's a psycho killer on the loose. Maybe there's a psycho killer on the loose. Could be. It is Halloween after all. Halloween night. The night he came home. Who is he, you ask? Michael Myers, him, he. It's the night he came home. So tonight is Halloween. Hello, boys and ghouls. Welcome to Halloween. Halloween night with J.Beau. Watch out for the spooks. The spooks. On this very dangerous walk. Tonight, you gotta do this tonight. Right. On Halloween, night of the zombies. They're coming to get you, Barbara. They're coming for you. Here comes one of them now. I think I'm gonna watch that when I get home. Night of the Living Dead. Best friggin' Halloween movie ever, besides Halloween. I'm gonna watch the original theatrical Halloween. The one before NBC did a reshoot before video release. While they were filming that's another place right here. I get their Halloween lights and everything off. It's like they have everything on until Halloween, but they don't want anybody knocking on the door or something. Isn't that bizarre? I mean, I know we got a windstorm, I get it. You don't want your decorations blowing around all over, but you You know, some of the stuff you can leave plugged in, you know, it's wrapped around the railings. It's not going anywhere. Anyways, just my opinion. What the hell do I know? But anyway, when they were filming Halloween 2, after NBC acquired Halloween, they did a couple of reshoots of scenes. And one of them included Dr. Loomis inside talking with the other psychiatrist in a hospital, talking about how he told them, he said, "You shouldn't have let him out. I told you not to." Well, he was under the best supervised care. He said, "Obviously he wasn't. He got out last night." Then he was leaving, and he said, you know, and then he said something about maybe somebody around here gave him lessons, because they were talking about how he didn't even know how to drive. I said, well, he was driving. He was doing a good job of it last night, he said. So that was all a reshoot after the original was already in the can, as they say. Which is kind of cool. I mean, it does belong. I get it. But if you're a purist, you want to see the original as it was in the theater. And so the Blu-ray, you can choose which one you want to watch. And I like it when they do that. And I wish they had done that with Star Wars. Fucking George Lucas, you asshole. Now he claims the original negatives are all destroyed through the process they did the first time. Do you fucking believe that for 2 seconds? I don't. He just didn't want to do it. He doesn't like the original version because it didn't live up to the vision he had. I understand that too. Which is why you should have both versions available for people. They can choose which one they want to watch. And if you watch some of those scenes that they repaired with CGI in the original theatrical, they really aren't that good. I understand why he feels that way. I do understand why he feels that way. There's one scene of the hangar where the hangar is, you can see them in the background. It looks really bad. You know, they did the matte painting and they have the Millennium Falcon and everything in the bay and everything looks great. And then in the background, it almost looks half finished. It probably was. So, anyway. That's why I was happy with the Star Trek Blu-ray set. They put both versions. And I also love, you know, the Friday the 13th movies. Even the ones like Friday the 13th Part 7, 8, 9, 10, Freddy versus Jason. I mean, they got really carried away with that stuff. But there's a lot of nostalgia there. I went to go see those in the theater, knowing that they're not going to be as good as the originals. Just to have fun, right? So the one they did where Jason ends up in Manhattan, I think one of my favorite sequel movies is Jason X, where he's in space, been frozen in cryogenics, and he gets thawed out, and you know, they mess him up really good. But they have these nanobot technology, and they turn him into a cyborg kind of thing. I thought that was a really cool Jason. And then at the end of the movie, you know, because he gets launched out in space, he burns up in the atmosphere, and all you see is what's left of the mask. And where does the mask land? Crystal Lake, of course, in New York. he was born. Waiting to be reborn again, I guess. Yeah, it's corny. It's, you know, it is. It's an eye roll. It's like, oh, really? That's what makes it fun, in my opinion. So I'm going to turn the camera around now because my right hand is getting numb from carrying this. I'll carry this like this. Donald Pleasance was a really good actor. I really liked him a lot. He played Dr. Loomis in the Halloween movies. He played a lot of roles in different movies. And he played the president in Escape from New York. And he's an interesting story. He's British. He was in World War II. And he became a prisoner of war in a Nazi camp. And he experienced that. It's not something he talked about very much, but it was known. That's what happened to him. I'm sure it was an experience that changed him. I don't know if he was in the Army, if he was in the Air Corps or something like that, the Royal Air Force, and got shot down or something. I don't know the story on that. But he was a cool dude. Alright, we're going to round the corner up here. Start working our way back. Well over 3 miles now. Probably be coming up to 4. I lost count. You'd figure I'd know by now. I've walked this route so many times, but I really don't pay attention to that. I really don't. I know it's about 6 miles when I'm done. Give or take. So the other thing I want to talk about is the FBI did a good job. Don't know if you caught wind of that yet with all the news cycles going on, but a lot of people have been complaining about Dearborn, Michigan. Dearborn, Michigan. You've heard people talk about it. They're talking about it because of the tremendous Muslim population there of migrants that were deposited in Michigan because the Michigan governor is as stupid as the one here in Maine. Well, they left their decorations up. They had a pumpkin in the middle, it's gone. So we have a dead thing on the lawn. This over here. Anyway, huge Muslim population in Dearborn, Michigan. And the FBI has been investigating domestic terrorism and terrorism in general, because that's their job. Well, they had been investigating this group of people in Dearborn, Michigan, I believe before Trump was elected. That's when that started. So not everything Biden's administration did was a bucket of shit. But Kash Patel really accelerated what was going on, and they made a bust. They made a bust yesterday. What did they arrest? Well, they arrested multiple people And they said they averted a terrorist attack, and they really haven't given much more details, but I can tell you for sure, this is fact, that they had seen these people and were following them with an undercover agent in a chat room online. And these people thought it was a private chat. And this guy infiltrated. And so anyway, these people in the chat were activists that hate America, Americans. They were talking about doing bad things. And they went and got some lit up jack-o'-lanterns. They have their inflatables going over here. They're not afraid. So anyway, I'm going to cross the street over here, see how these people's inflatables are doing. This is the one we saw the two skeletons doing the nasty. At least that's what it looked like. They still going at it. So anyway, these people in the chat room, they got all their stuff deflated, most of it. Yep. The wind has put a damper on Halloween. So, Maine is 3.5 miles. So anyway, these people in the chat room started talking about Pumpkin Day. They were getting excited. Pumpkin Day was coming. Pumpkin Day. Like they were up to something. Turns out they were. So anyway, the FBI was investigating these people. They found out who they were, where they live. And they had gone as a group. Turn the camera around. They had gone as a group to a shooting range in Michigan. And they were shooting AK-47s. And they shot an unrealistic amount of ammo. They were doing tactical drills. They were doing mag dumps. They were doing dropping their magazines, tactical magazine changes, tactical obstacle course stuff. And you know, that's not something completely unusual, okay? But the FBI is like, okay, we're already watching these guys. They're talking about a Pumpkin Day thing, and they're training. So rather than waiting until Halloween night and waiting for a terrorist attack to occur, so we could have another bunch of dead kids or something somewhere, the FBI had information and did nothing. Kash Patel knows that. So they did a raid. Early in the morning. There's a video online where they're letting off a bunch of flashbang grenades, concussion grenades, and they're storming a couple of houses in Dearborn, Michigan, and the people they arrested were between 18 and 22, and they were all young Muslims, radicals, and they were going to commit a terrorist act. And they came in under Joe Biden on top of that, as far as I know. That might change, okay, but as far as I know, that's the deal. So, number one, they're 18 to 22. Congress passed a law saying you can't buy handguns unless you're at least 20 or 19, something like that, 20, I think it is. And but I think you can buy rifles. But I don't know what Michigan's laws are on semi-automatic rifles with people 18 to 20. But regardless, it's really a moot point. Point is, they must have got these from somewhere. I don't know if they were full auto or if they were ones that were made in the United States, semi-auto only, I don't know. But to be honest with you, to me it's kind of silly when something is banned if it's full auto, because you can shoot as fast as you can pull the trigger, and you can pull the trigger pretty freaking fast. It doesn't take long to shoot 30 rounds. If you've ever done that with an AK, you see all the smoke that comes off it after you do that. It gets very hot quickly. And anyway, I'm just talking about it because we may have had a Halloween massacre that was averted. Pumpkin Day. It would have been called a Pumpkin Day Massacre. They probably called it Pumpkin Day because they don't care about our holidays. Not that it's really a holiday. But it's one of those things where they may have done a raid too early. They may not have enough evidence to convict, but at least they stopped it from happening, because they seem to be pretty sure it was better to be on the safe side than not. And if they end up being told they did the wrong thing, so be it. I mean, really. I mean, you shouldn't be in a chat room talking about shit like that and then going to a range as a group with the people that were in the chat room. That's really the alarm that went off. And when they were doing that, it wasn't just people laughing at the range having fun. The range surveillance cameras, they were doing technical drills like you would do for a military attack. And these people were not in the military, at least not that we know of. But who the fuck knows what Joe let in, right? Anyway, this is a danger with the Muslims that we let in unvetted. Don't know who the fuck they are. You know, they could have been in hit murder squads in Syria or something. We have no fucking idea. We literally don't know. And while the border was open, they might have infiltrated intentionally. They sent people here just for these kind of things. Sleeper cells, you know? So anyway, I just thought I'd talk about that for a second. Very dangerous stuff. Very dangerous. Democrats are so fucking bad. They're so bad. Right now, they got the government locked down knowing people need money and they don't give a fuck. They don't care. They're using everybody as leverage against Donald Trump because they're getting their ass kicked. I gotta salute the flag. I always salute that flag when we go by. Oh. Hang on to your asses, my friends. It's windy. It's not freezing cold right now because it would be too cold to walk with this wind. Oh yeah. Well, no werewolves yet. No Jasons, no Michael Myers. We had had a chainsaw. We had a crazy guy with a chainsaw. We did have that. Glad I got that on video. That's pretty cool. Alright. Just hit 4 miles. We just hit 4 miles, my friends. We just hit 4 miles. I am going to have a really nice hot coffee when I get back. Finish up the last couple miles here. Finish up the last couple. This is kind of a cool Halloween night, actually. It's windy. It's kind of Halloween night you would see in a horror movie. See how the shadows are moving? Ooh. Ooh. Halloween haunted house had that event anyway, despite the weather. Had their smoke machines on, as you could see. Had the chainsaw wielding maniac. Got porch pumpkins. We got porch pumpkins. Don't forget to go vote Tuesday if you have elections. Said it already, I'm saying it again. Voter ID in Maine, red flag laws. Vote against the red flag laws. Vote no on question 2. Vote yes on 1 for voter ID. Shanabello's here, and also the DHS, Department of Human Services Secretary in Maine, refused to cooperate with the Trump administration. They forced the DOJ to file lawsuits. And all they were trying to do is to keep these voter rolls and lists hidden until after the election. That's all they were doing. So it's going to turn out after the election, we're going to find out there were people on there that shouldn't be there. And it may have influenced people to vote for voter ID that didn't vote for it. And we're going to see how many people pay attention to how they try to obscure the question by burying it on the ballot, making it a mile long, and putting voter ID at the end of it. Kitty there in the bushes. Hi, kitty. Kitty's looking around like, is it safe? Is it safe? Checking out the exits. He's checking out the exits in case he has to run away. In case I'm a bad hombre. All right, I'm gonna wrap up the end of this walk. My right shoe now is very loose. I don't hear the laces flopping around yet. Typically when I tighten the laces where they should be, they don't come untied, and that's something you get with good quality hiking shoes. The less expensive ones have more like nylon laces, and they come untied. I'm gonna have to tighten this. I'm gonna put you down for a minute. Don't go anywhere, I'll be right back. There we go. The Led Zeppelin song, I gotta put you down for a while. Their first album. If you know me and you're familiar with me, you know that I collect vinyl. I got the Led Zeppelin reissues, remastered, supervised by Jimmy Page. They sound wonderful. They're the best sounding Led Zeppelin records ever. I have all the originals too, and I listen to the remastered reissues. Same thing with Queen. Same thing with Pink Floyd. The remastered reissues are mwah. If you are a vinyl aficionado, your trick-or-treaters. Your trick-or-treaters across the streets. Hello. Hey. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah.
Some trick-or-treaters. He looked at me for a minute like, is this guy somebody with a psycho knife? Why is he carrying a camera? I mean, I'm wearing a hoodie and I got a MAGA hat. I don't have a hockey mask. If I had a hockey mask tonight, would have been a good night to wear it. That would be funny. A Jason mask. Those girls were like, "Happy Halloween." They probably saw an older guy with a MAGA hat. I'm supposed to be evil. But how do they know I'm not wearing a Halloween costume? Most of the trick-or-treaters were probably earlier, just before it got dark. Most people take their kids before it gets dark. I didn't think of that. Back to the homestead. It's hot coffee. Have a hot shower. I'll warm my bones. Got spooky noises at that house. Sure they had trick-or-treaters. I have to put my up ahead here. I'm going to put my flashlight on my cell phone on. Hi, you are currently being recorded. That's what the security camera said when I walked by. Parked off to the side here. road here. Got run over. It's like a coffee cup. Four 221 KYK. I don't know why that car is parked there for no reason. Probably belongs to those girls we saw. Not a good place to park. Behind here. Yep. The leaves covering the gutter on the side here. Can't tell if I'm stepping in a hole or not. Just told me we're at 5 miles. If GPS is accurate today, could be 4.8, could be 5.2. Sometimes it's off a little bit. Business. Somebody's slowing down. See what I'm doing. I'm carrying a camera and I have a flashlight on. Move along, buddy. Move along. See any deer eyeballs looking back at us tonight. Oh, I see you. Two of them, three deer. It's the same three I see out here. It's okay, guys. Using my peripheral vision. It's hard to hear if there's traffic coming behind me because of the wind. I'm off the side of the road. We had 3 deer off to the side. The same 3 I usually see, so it's a group. It's a group. They're hanging out. All All right. Turn my flashlight off now. There we go. Boy, big wind right now. Big time windy. I had to change the battery. Changer. All right, I'll be winding down the walk up ahead. I still have a little ways to go. I'll definitely have my 6 miles, I think. Close to it. And by the way, on my videos, I always put my distance I walked with you. At least. So we saw a chainsaw wielding maniac tonight. We saw a very busy haunted house. We saw a lot of wind. We saw deflated lawn ornaments. We saw teenage girls trick-or-treating. Some people don't like that. They don't think teenagers should trick-or-treat. And I don't disagree. I mean, I don't agree with that. And the reason why I say that is because if they're 16, 17, pretty soon everything's going to change very quickly. And God bless them for having fun while they can. That's all I'll say about that. I don't know why people are upset about it. Trick-or-treating's for kids. These teenagers are stealing their candy. Well, teenagers these days could be doing a lot worse things than that. Look at this high beams in my face, which I have the visor from my cap to block. Works nicely. Just tilt your head down to the ground. You get headlights in your face when you're walking. You could literally have a 6-foot deep ditch in front of you. And if it's not marked off or blocked off, you would walk right into the hole because you cannot see the ground in front of you. But when you tip your cap down and block the headlights, you can. Now, they put a new sidewalk in here a year ago. This was all heavily frost heaved. This sidewalk here was all lumpy, very difficult to work on, walk on when it was snowy and had ice on it. And now it's nice and flat. And frost heaves is when the ground heaves because of the cold. It'll actually heave upward and you'll get a crack in the sidewalk with a hump. Sometimes the hump goes away, sometimes the hump doesn't go away. So I'm at 5.5 miles. According to the woman in my ear. I'm hearing voices, but not those kind. Not those kind of voices. I'm hearing app voices. Sign off up ahead in the cannabis dispensary parking lot next to the cell phone supplies place. They sell cell phones there too, and cell phone service. What a scam that is. The other night, my last night walk through here, because I'm using a super wide angle lens, and it makes everyone look like they have a big beak. You turn off to the side, it stretches your face out, and it made me laugh because I was like, oh my god, that's hideous. Also, when you're looking at it straight on, it makes your face fatter, and it makes it like somebody stretched your face out towards the camera lens. Fisheye look, like when looking through, somebody rings your doorbell and you look through the door peephole. It's got that kind of look. So anyways, my friends, thank you for walking with J.Beau. Click like and subscribe on this Halloween night, and pray for President Trump and the country, and pray that the Democrats get their heads out of their fucking asses and start governing again before the Republicans do something crazy like get rid of the filibuster, which is what they were talking about. And the reason why you don't want to do that, Trump was tweeting about it on Truth Social. I think he's just trying to scare the Democrats into ending this before bad things happen. But number one, you get rid of the filibuster. You need 60% of the Senate to pass things. Then it will take just a 50 vote, 50 majority. Very easy for any party that's in charge of the Senate, because you win the Senate with 50 or more senators. So that means they could turn Puerto Rico into a state, add 2 more senators. They could turn DC into a state. They could pack the Supreme Court. They could ban guns. They would be able to ban guns, semi-automatic rifles, nationally. So that's why we don't want to get rid of the filibuster. That keeps the Senate honest. And I know it's frustrating when the Democrats are using it like this, but the alternative would be terrible. So I do not support getting rid of the filibuster. It would be a very bad idea. So I'm going to end this walk on that note. Click like and subscribe. Say a prayer for Trump and the country. God bless you and your family, and happy Halloween. Hope you stayed safe tonight. All kinds of candy. See you guys on the next walk, my friends. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye.